back. Today we're going to talk about multiplying fractions. The product of two fractions, that is, the answer to the multiplication problem, is equal to the product of the two numerators divided by the product of the two denominators. For example, let's say I've got, two fractions here that are just everyday fractions. Say 3/5 and 5/8. It's one fraction when we find the product. And we're going to find the product of the tops and the product of the bottoms. Okay? If it's letters, so let's say we have A over B times C over D, it's the same. It's going to be AC over BD. Product of the tops, product of the bottoms. So let's look at some examples here. For example, if we've got some fractions down here, and we've got -2/5 times -2/3. We've got to look at these and say, what's going on here? Well, I'm going to say this is -2/5 times -2/3. It's going to give me the product of the tops over the product of the bottoms. And that's all there is to it. So I've got the product of the tops, product of the bottoms. Much simpler than adding fractions. I don't have to have a common denominator. Just multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms. Same thing over here. -3 times 5 over 10 times 6. Now, here's a little interesting wrinkle that could happen. Let's say, for example, we've got two numbers, one on top, one on bottom, and they have common factors. Well, I can divide out common factors because I know that 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into 10 two times. I know that 3 goes into -3 one time, and 3 goes into 6 twice. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do to try to divide out those common factors. Well, then my new problem becomes -1 times 1 over 2 times 2, which gives me -1 over 4. Okay, so that's just a simple way to reduce it before we even multiply, so we can make it small so we don't have to just make it big. The other thing that could happen, we could have mixed numbers. So we've got 5½ times 3 3/4 here. We're going to write them as improper fractions. Same rules are going to apply. Fractions. So I'm going to use the C method here, where I'm doing 2 times 5 plus 1 over 2. It's going to give me 11 over 2. C method here. Some people also call it like the Texas method, because I know I'm going to multiply here and I'm going to add here, and this kind of looks like Texas. I don't know. Either way we slice it. 4 times 3 plus 3. Keep the denominator here, keep that 4. So that's 12, 13, 14, 15 over 4. Here are my two numbers. Now they're just fractions. 11 over 2 times 15 over 4 equals 11 times 15. Over 2 times 4. And when I go ahead and do that, I'm going to end up with 165 over 8. And if I simplify that, I've got 20 and 5/8. That's all there is to it. Multiply tops and bottoms. Let's do a little bit of algebra kind of stuff here. Don't be afraid, just algebra. Just meaning letters, standing for numbers. I've got x squared y, which means x times y. So I've got three fractions here. Let's notice what happens. And x is -4/5. So I'm going to have -4/5 times -4/5 times 2/3. Same exact process. -4 times -4 times 2 over 5 times 5 times 2. On bottom we got 50. On top we got 16, 32 over 50. Now, if you were astute and you divided out these, that's good. Do that. Sorry, that's a 3 on the bottom. I messed up. Should be a 3 on bottom. You guys should have stopped me. So there's actually a 3. Whoop. 3. And when I've got the 3 on the bottom, I've got 5 times 5 times 3, which is 75. That's a little bit better. Okay? That's all there is to it, guys. Multiplying fractions. Multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms. Cancel out any common factors if you can. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.